Good morning, I'm Marilena Tarantino from POLI.design, and today I will be moderating the presentation of the Specializing Master in Fashion, Accessory and Jewelry, Design, Management and Communication. Please feel free to use the chat box to submit any questions you have, which we will address in the second part of the session. Now let me introduce the speaker, Livia Tenuta. I leave you the floor.
Thank you very much. Hello, everybody. I'm Livia Tenuta. I'm Associate Professor at the Politecnico di Milano and Vice Director of the Master, while the Scientific Director is Professor Alba Cappellieri. Hello everybody, and I'm very happy to introduce you the Specializing Masters that, as you can see in the slide, puts together different competencies: creativity, but also strategy, design, but also management, experimentation and tradition, technology, but for us it is also very important, craftsmanship. And what is the main point is that we provide the methodological tools to understand how to manage all this heterogeneity. So when the master will start in January, we will have 25 seats, and the amount of hours is 1,500 for 60 ECTs. Regarding the goals of the master, so if you want to be part of our family, the idea is the one to create some hybrid characters, some hybrid professionals, because we have a very deep conversation with the industry today in fashion, accessory and jewelry field, and talking with them, we do understand their needs, and the idea is the one to create professionals they need. That is why you will go into the master through different product category of accessories: jewelry, footwear, handbag, eyewear, hats, luggages, using one methodology, but understanding the different skills that you will need for each of them. What is good is that here in few time, in a way, you will have the possibility to explore some products that are very different one from another in few time. And this is good not only for your knowledge, but also to understand in a quick way where your talent is. Regarding the structure of the master, we will have divided it in mainly 3 modules that we have called theory and practice, workshops and experiences. And through these 3 modules, you will go into the journey of accessories and jewelry. Here you can see that theory and practice includes a part related to creativity and innovation, some hours related to sustainability today and the circular economy in the fashion accessory field, some technical modules regarding the 3D modeling that is necessary for the biggest part of the workshop that we will see later. Also fashion design graphics, since it is not just important the creativity you put into the product, but also the way in which you present it. A part related to management and communication, since today there's a strong and fluid conversation between the different disciplines. A designer must know also some pills of management and some of communication to manage in the best way the product itself. Then regarding the workshop, I already mentioned some of them. Here you can see all of them and the related hours dedicated to each workshop. So we will go through hat, eyewear, watches, luggage, leather and handbag, jewelry design and shoes design. And finally, the last module is experience. that includes a part of 20 hours dedicated to the making of the portfolio, and also how to present, to introduce yourself to the company for interviews. A very important part that is the one of the internship, and then also some hours dedicated to the making of the final thesis that do represent the final point and the conclusion of the entire master. Regarding the thematic workshop that do represent then the main part of the master itself, and that all of them, even if they are very, very different, do follow the same idea of learning by doing. So you will work close to professionals coming from the market of the different product categories for 1 or 2 weeks, depending on the workshop. And even if, as I already mentioned, the products are very different one from the other, the methodology is always the same. So you will receive at the very beginning the brief. Usually we do work together with the company, so the professor, the professionals, is coordinated with the company for deciding a functional brief. Then it starts the research part from the students with continuous review with the professor. Then the making of the concept, sometimes the physical prototype, some other time just the digital prototype, and then the design part. Regarding the professional outcomes, we are very proud that in the last years we have seen really our students having different positions in different companies, from small companies or studios to big companies. And as you can see, those professional outcomes do cover the field of the creation as fashion designer, but also related to the materials or to style, the part of the production, so being a product or technical developer or pattern maker. In the last years, in which we have included also the communication and management sphere, we have seen also some profiles such as the fashion graphic designer, fashion photographer assistant, or product manager and buying, merchandising and pricing, line binding, and brand management. So this is one of the goal also of creating those fluid and hybrid profile that I mentioned at the very beginning. Why choosing this master? First of all, because in a safe environment, you will have the possibility to work with industry professionals, but also with the company without the pressure of a job. So it is the best way really to experiment different kind of approach, different kind of product in a more safe environment. Also, at the end of the master, all our students do have a very rich portfolio because, as you have seen, there are many workshops and all of them are individual workshops. It means that you will have a portfolio including projects that only you have designed. We usually do see that students that do apply to our master do present their portfolio with projects made in team. So sometimes in that way it's very difficult then to evaluate which are your abilities, which are your skills, while in this master at the very end you will have a very transparent portfolio that will be really the mirror of your competencies. And we have seen that industries really do appreciate this. Also, another important point is that we have international classes with a small number of students, as you have seen, maximum 25. And for us, it is really a strength because when we have an heterogeneous environment, you can learn not only from professors and professionals that will teach you in the master, but also from your colleagues. For us, diversity, looking at the other competencies, it is something very, very important. And this is also why we want open-minded students that are ready to collaborate with others and happy to spend a lot of time discussing projects with others. As we already mentioned, the creation of personal portfolios with diverse projects, made in Italy and relationship with the local companies. Also consider that you will be in Milan, and in the period of the master a lot of things happen, from the Fashion Week to the Salone del Mobile and Design Week in Milan, and Art Week, and many other events. So not only the master but also the city will link you with new exciting realities. Here, some names of our network that include some professors that come from this reality, because they host a lot of internship for the master, and also because we have a very strong conversation with them. As you can see, they do cover different kind of product categories. So I give you back the ball for the technical details for being part in the selection.
Thank you. I'll take the floor again to provide more details about the application process for the next edition of the Master that will start in January 2026. On the Specializing Master webpage on the POLI.design website, you will find the full list of required materials for the selection phase. By clicking on the Apply button, you will be able to create your personal account and upload the necessary files. The application will be then completed on the Politecnico di Milano website by uploading all the documents related to your academic qualifications. If you need assistance during this phase, you can book a call by scanning the QR code. Then there are two main steps to follow. The first one is the selection steps, which must be completed no later than 60 days before the course starting date. And the second one is the enrollment step, to be completed within 45 days. Please note that applications are processed in chronological order and spots are limited, so don't wait for the last minute for the application. Additionally, by uploading your documents, you will already be eligible to attend the next round of interviews that are scheduled on May 29 from 2:30 p.m. Then you can find in this slide the course fee, along with our promotional policy designed specifically for this program, an initiative to support the design potential of those who choose POLI.design. In particular, I'd like to highlight the early bird promo, valid for the application received by June 30. Now we can move on to the Q&A session. I will check if we have some questions. So the first one is it a full-time course?
Basically, the very first part, that is the one related to theory, is not full because we have seen that 8 hours per day were too intense for the students. So at the very beginning, basically the first 2-3 months, it is 4 maximum 6 hours per day, while the workshop is quite intense. So you will be for 1 or 2 weeks full with your colleagues and professors in class, because this situation want really to simulate what happens in an office, in a studio. So you will be there doing continuous reviews. And so until the end of the master, it will be full. Yeah.
Okay, then there is another question. Would it be possible to work during the master?
I would say no. Maybe at the very beginning, if you have a part-time jobs for the first, second month, maybe you can try to combine them. But basically, I think that the master is really an opportunity for you, and it is something that you have to enjoy. You have be there. Also, even if the first month is not fully for the week, also consider that you will have to develop some small project, exercises, and others. So probably the free time will be used also to conclude this kind of activities. So my suggestion is if you decide to do the master, because it's the best way really to appreciate and to use all the things that we do offer to you.
Thank you. I have another question. Which programs will be used for the design part?
As I mentioned, even if the methodology is the same for all the workshop, they are very different one from the others. So for some of them, you will be rhinoceros for 3D modeling, for example. That is included in the module of theory. So if you already have some knowledge about it, it is very good, but also there will be some specifically dedicated hours to this one. Basically, for the making of the presentation, we do use Adobe InDesign for the presentation, Photoshop if you have to modify something, Illustrator for technical drawings. Also are very welcome and sketches, so it depends also on your abilities, and yes, basically these are the main programs. In the last year, we have seen a lot also the use of artificial intelligence for the making, for example, of a DV campaign or just for brainstorming for some project. So also it depends on the brief of the project, of many factors, but basically those are the most important softwares we do use.
Can you give an example of project that you will develop during workshop?
Yes. For example, last year, since I'm in charge of the jewelry workshop, we collaborated with Ippolita brand. It's a jewelry, fine jewelry brand. And the brief, it was the one to develop a jewelry collection starting from the inspiration of body imprinting. So we started with the use of some wax foil, modeling, placing it on the body to find some interesting shapes. So it was just a first brainstorming with your own body. Then we had the intermediate review to analyze this first model with the company itself. And then after this review, we will start the concept phase. So trying to moving ideas into something practical. And then we do have this small prototype in wax, but also all the jewelry collection developed in 3D. And the last day we do present to the company all the project.
Thank you. Are there holidays week during the year? And do I need a language certificate for application?
Um, Holidays, yes, depends on the calendar. There are Easter holidays, basically, and those Italian holidays in the years. But the master do the lessons do finish before summer break. So you have to consider all those holidays that are until the end of July, basically. And the second question is about
The language
certificate. No, but we will have an interview. During the interview, of course, we will check also your abilities in English. We don't need the mother tongue students, but it is important for you being good in English because it is a way to enjoy the master. Because if you are shy, that you don't speak very well, so you don't want to intervene, starting conversation with your colleagues or with professors, it's a pity for you. So basically, when I do interviews, what I suggest, if you don't feel comfortable right now in speaking in English, improve a lot. When you will be confident, that will be the best way then to apply for the master.
Thank you. And one last question. Are you planning activities out of class, such as visit to company, and
Yes.
etc.?
Yes, many. Also, as you have seen, we have a very huge and strong network with different companies. And we believe that this for you also is an important experience for understanding retail, for understanding production. So every year we do organize, depending on the availability of the companies, a visit into the company itself or in a retail store, or if there are interesting and consistent exhibition, also these are included into the hours of the master. And yes.
Thank you. We don't have any other questions, so I would like to thank you, Livia Tenuta, for the presentation, and stay connected for the next one.